Hey, what's up, y'all? This is my review for Venom: The Last Dance. Saw the opening show on Wednesday night, and this is the last movie in the Venom trilogy. And this movie basically sets the ground for the future of the Sony Spider-Man universe. They kind of establish who's gonna be the big bad of this Sony universe in this movie. So, for those people who don't like the Sony Spider-Man universe, I'm sorry to tell you, but this universe is not going away anytime soon. I'm one of those people who didn't like at first about Venom being a good guy and them making Venom movies like an action comedy thing. But at this point, I'm just going with it and just, reviewing the movie based on what it is rather than, what it's supposed to be like. Like we already know they ain't gonna change. So what's the point? So I mean, at least they didn't really change like Venom's most important traits. So I guess yeah. So anyways, this movie is definitely the best movie in the Sony Spider-Man universe so far. I know it's not really a high bar to be comparing, about which is the best movie, but this one definitely was. This was better than the previous two Venom movies, and also to all of the people who have been like discussing which Spider-Man universe that this the Venom universe actually takes place in. A lot of people have been saying Andrew Garfield's universe, but it actually isn't. So the actor who played Dr. Kurt Connors in the Amazing Spider-Man universe is actually in this movie as well. So that kind of debunks that whole rumor that Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is the Spider-Man of this universe. All right. Also, what this movie did was they kind of made No Way Home's post-credit scene pretty pointless, and I guess at this point it's very useless because what we saw in the No Way Home post-credit scene is Eddie Brock, Venom in MCU Earth, and then he said he was gonna go talk to Spider-Man. He left a little bit of Venom left a little bit of himself on the counter, but this movie actually starts with that scene. But no, actually it didn't start with this. It started with Knull, but later on, Venom's and Eddie's introduction in the movie was actually that post-credit scene. Okay, and then they cut out the part where he said he was gonna talk to Spider-Man, and they cut out the part where Venom left a little bit of himself on a counter. So that basically says that they're not really moving forward with that anymore since they cut out those scenes in that post-credit scene, and then he just went back to his Earth. And then he left a little bit of himself on his Earth on that same bar in that same counter. So I guess they kind of retconned it. Rather than doing it on the MCU Earth, they did it on, like Venom's Earth. So that post-credit scene basically serves no purpose anymore because, yeah. Anyway, speaking of Knull, a lot of people have been afraid about Knull being misused in this movie, but he was not. They only showed him like a pieces of him. They showed him in the mid-credit scenes. They showed him in the beginning, so it was like a whole backstory about how the symbiotes turned on him and imprisoned him. So that was like the whole intro of Knull, and then him sending the xenophages to Earth to find Venom, because Venom and Eddie are the only one that have something called the Codex, which is the only thing that can free Knull from his prison. So only Venom has it. So he sends these creatures called the xenophage to retrieve it from Venom. So that's basically the plot of the movie. So in this movie, we see a symbiote containment facility called Area 55, which is under Area 51. So there are like a lot of symbiotes that I guess that were captured from like the first movie, because there was actually a scene from the first movie and they showed all the symbiotes like escaping, and then I guess yeah. So they showed like a little bit of a lot of symbiotes in there. Like a lot of them was like hard to identify. So the ones that I was able to identify, because I think the symbiotes, they looked more like the Life Foundation symbiotes, the 5 Life Foundation symbiotes. I mean, we already saw Riot in the first movie, and the one that I recognized instantly was Agony, because that was like, it was so easy to identify. A lot of them, they looked very much alike, like they just look literally like Venom, but just a different color and different size. And I noticed, I guess one of them looked like Phage. I saw Toxin. Oh yeah, like this thing with Toxin makes no sense, all right? Because Toxin is supposed to be red, all right? Because he's the symbiote that the detective has. Okay, so he's in the movie, and then he gets the symbiote from Carnage, right? And Carnage's son is Toxin. So the symbiote that he has is supposed to be Toxin. But in this movie, the symbiote that he has is not Toxin, but they claim it's Toxin, because Toxin is red. and the symbiote that he has, it was like green and it looked more like Lasher. So they're naming it Toxin, and plus it came from Carnage, but its appearances, literally the appearance of Lasher. It was green, it looked literally like Lasher, but they're claiming it's Toxin, and it's supposed to be Toxin because it came from Carnage. What? So I guess that was the only change that they made about the symbiotes, I guess. So the first hour of the movie was good, but it had some lows, if you ask me, and the low was like really, really low. So there was like one scene in a casino where Eddie and Venom went to a casino. Venom was playing, I don't know what you call it, like a slot machine or whatever. So they were playing a slot machine, and then they met Mrs. Chen from the convenience store, and then Venom and Mrs. Chen was like literally dancing in a penthouse in a casino. I literally wish that whole casino scene, that dancing scene, I don't think that needed to be in the movie at all. I don't know why that was in the movie, because I think if that was the only bad scene for me in the movie, man. I think that scene literally didn't need to be in the movie at all. That could have been removed. But the second hour, the second half of the movie was so good. It was all out like symbiote xenophage war like thing. That was so good. That 1 hour, like the last hour of this movie was like better than the whole Venom trilogy. It was so good. Like it was so good. I really like, and also the ending of the movie, right? For me, like I think that ending was supposed to be sad because a certain character dies, but then if you really, really, really paid attention to the movie, it's not really sad because you're like, there's like, a bit of him still there. They captured it before that, so like that scene, even though it's supposed to be sad, as if you paid attention, you're like, this means nothing because he's still gonna come back because it was still like a piece from there. So that ending scene, like even though it was supposed to be sad, but it wasn't really for me since I know that this is not the end. He's gonna come back eventually. So the characters in this movie, we had Baron Mordo's doppelganger on this earth. He played Rex Strickland. We had the Lizard's doppelganger. He was a hippie who was like an alien enthusiast. He was coming to trying to see Area 51. And we had the doctor who was the host for Agony, and then there was another scientist doctor. She was pretty cool. She was like a bit sympathetic against Venom, and she was the one that helped Venom escape and help him bond with Eddie again. So that was pretty cool. Eddie and Venom's characters was pretty cool, and Venom was pretty cool too because Venom was literally like using almost every single animal he could find. Like Venom was bonded with a horse, with a frog, with a fish. What other animals? I don't even remember, bro. Like that was so many like animals that Venom actually bonded with. That was all pretty cool. So yeah, this is really a good movie, man. What else? Yeah, also the mid and post credit scenes. The mid credit scenes showed Knull. I'm not really sure if he escaped or not, but there was just this line that says the King in Black will be I don't know, awakened, or I don't know, whatever he said. So Knull was in like a Revenge of the Fallen kind of situation, like he needs something, like he was just being locked, imprisoned down there, and then he sends his minions to do his thing, and then, that was the mid-credit scene. Post-credit scenes, you could actually pretty much ignore it because it was the bartender guy, from the No Way Home, post-credit scenes. He was in this movie too in the beginning, and then Baron Mordo's doppelganger actually captured him because he knows information about, because he's like the only person that have actually like interacted with them, with Venom and Eddie, that they were able to capture. So they captured him, and I pretty much forgot about him until the post-credit scene, and I was like, it makes no sense that his character actually survived because that whole facility blew up. All right, so how did he even like? It makes no sense that he was able to survive it unless he has a symbiote in him. Okay, that was the only explanation I could get. The only way this guy could actually survive that explosion is like that. I was like, there's no way this random bartender who disappeared for the whole movie, just appears in the post credit, and he just happens to survive, no scratch, nothing. Like it's a Fast and Furious movie. So and then they showed like a broken, like a flask little thing, and I was like, all right, yeah, he this he's not dead. He's definitely alive. I guess he's gonna bond with the bartender and eventually make his way to yeah. So yeah, this was a good movie, man. This was a really good movie. I guess a good end to the Venom trilogy. I know the Venom movies has not really been well received because of the Venom being a good guy thing. Venom 2, man, there was some scenes that I just didn't like. The Venom going to the club thing. I just think that was not necessary. But yeah, overall, the Venom trilogy is fine. This movie is really good. If they can keep making movies like this in the Sony universe, I think Sony universe would actually not be that bad. Even if you ask me, the Sony universe is not really that bad as most people are actually making it out to be, because most people are just saying it's bad without actually watching the movie. Madam Web was fine, Morbius was fine. Yeah, I said it. So it was not bad at all, those movies. So we have Craven the Hunter coming out this year. So I don't know what other movies is coming out for in this universe. So I guess we gotta wait and see, because like I said, they already laid the foundation, I guess, for see what I did there, foundation. Anyways, so like Knull is gonna be the big bad of this whole universe, I guess. That's what they kind of did with this movie. So yeah, so that is all. I hope you enjoyed this review for Venom: The Last Dance. So if you did, subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment down below if you have seen this movie and what you think about that movie. So anyways, that is all for me. So thank you very much for watching. See you next time.